Hi everybody, Allison here. Just thought we would make a fun holiday card for the holiday card series. Today I'm going to be using the Jolly Cupcake stamp set. We're going to be using the stamp set with the cute little snowman, the Santa hat, and our cupcake base. All right, let's get started. So I've already begun my card by creating two pieces that are going to be on the front, and we are going to create a scene through this double oval. And I've already gone and traced it on my back sheet of paper so I know the size of my oval. And we're going to begin by stamping our little snowman image first. I'm using black Memento ink. And I'm going to do this a couple of times just to make sure that my ink is nice and crisp. Now, we're going to make a scene where things overlap. So I'm going to take pre-cut masks that I've already created here with some masking paper, and I'm going to carefully put those over top of the image. Hang on one second. There we go. And I'm going to press that down and make sure it's covering and all my edges are nice and flat. I'm going to take off our image here and I'm going to replace it with our cupcake base. So I need enough room to put the cupcake behind, and I know it comes up quite high to approximately there, and I want to make sure that I get the top of my Santa hat. So I'm going to put it fairly low. I'm going to stamp that cupcake base. There we go. I've also made a mask of this as well because I'm going to use it when we go to create the background. So I'm going to remove our cupcake base and we're going to grab our Santa cupcake. And we're going to make sure that it's in view here. And it does appear that it is going to overlap that cupcake base. So I'm just going to pick this up first. And then I'm going to put this down. Again, I have made these masks ahead of time just for ease of creating. And again, we're going to ink up our little Santa Claus. So when using your masks, you always have to think about foreground and background. So whatever is going to be in the foreground or closest to you in your scene, that's what you need to stamp first. And then whatever's behind it needs to go second, and then anything that's farther back than that needs to go after. So always remember that when you're trying to design the areas. And we're going to do our background first, so I am going to pop this mask down as well. And let's go create our background. Today I'm going to be using my Copic airbrush system, and this is designed for sketch markers. And to use this, all you do is take your marker with your large nib and you basically insert your marker in until it clicks. And this is the air grip, and it holds the marker against this air distribution system right here, and the air comes out and picks up ink from that nib and distributes it across whatever medium you're using. I always test my markers first off on a scrap piece of paper. Every marker distributes ink differently, so you have to be very aware. Some markers, such as the reds, they're very, very spotty because their pigments are quite thick. So you have to always test out your markers beforehand. So for our card today, I kind of want it to be a green background because there might be a Christmas tree or something behind it. So we're going to start by applying this ink. And before I do that, I'm going to take my art marker. This is my moldable eraser here, and I'm going to erase the majority of these lines, or at least lighten them so they're not as obvious. Okay. And all you do is press and go. And that's it. It's that easy. So underneath my desk, this is attached to an air compressor, which is specifically designed to send air through the hose at a specific PSI. You can take existing air compressors and modify them to produce the same thing as the Copic branded one. Before I had my Copic branded air compressor, I used a modified version that my husband set up for me. So the nice thing about this is that you don't, like a regular air compressor for paints, you have to clean the system out. It's very time consuming to use, but with this, all it is a pop and go. So it's amazing for quickness. You can actually put the markers in the other direction, and I'll show you in a second what that produces. So again, always test off on the side and apply as you go. Now, of course, the juicier your markers, the better off, and the faster your ink will be applied. So I always tend to use colors that I know that I have refills for. Okay, I want to do a little bit darker green, so I'm going to grab a, let's try a G46 here. Again, using the large nib. And again, so some of my markers are just too dry to use. Some markers I do not have refills for yet. So I have to be picky. And I know I have one for this. Again, the more pigment, you have to be very aware. So you can just press it and pulse it. You can build many, many, many layers with this. And that's what's really nice about this system. If you want a darker area or a deeper ink color, then just continue to add ink over top. It's the same almost as paint. So you just go darker and darker and darker. There we go. So we have a nice mottled look. Now I'm going to take this green and we're going to use the opposite end. This is the brush end. The brush end gives you a different texture. So I'm going to put this off to the side. This gives you a splatter. I'm hoping the camera will pick this up, but it gives you a more dotty, spotty look. And sometimes if you want to like antique your paper, it's a great way to do that. So again, I'm just going to give it a couple of quick spritz. And what it's doing is dropping larger pigment dots on there. So it gives you a dotted, spotty look, which I like on some of my backgrounds. So that's kind of fun. So a nice introduction to the Copic airbrush system. All right. I'm going to now take this same system and we're going to put a little bit of table down. I'd love to do a red, but I'm feeling that it might be a little risky. So let's go brown. The other thing too to remember is that whatever your ink color is with the airbrush, it always goes on a little bit softer and a little bit more transparent because your ink is being distributed in a fine mist versus like a solid flow of ink. So you have to know that if you want a deeper color or if you're expecting it to be one color, it may not be that dark because of the amount of pigment that you put down. So just put down a couple of layers. Again, we're just gonna dapple it. And you can color right over top of this medium because of course it's just Copic markers. So let's just add a little bit of shading. We'll go a little bit deeper. And that marker is a little bit on the dry side, people. Oh, and so is that one. All right. A little bit of shading in the background there. And you can do just a quick application over the front so it all melds. And there we go. Our simple and fun background. And now we can get to coloring. Cool, eh? All right, for this part, I'm going to speed up and you guys can enjoy some music and we'll get coloring and finish our card. Okay, so let's do some white pen detail here. Let's put some fun polka dots on his scarf. Just 'cause we can. So this is a bold tipped marker, and I always start it out on my hand because it warms up the tip, gets that ink flowing. There we go. I'm not making them like really round, I'm just kind of making some bluebies. There we go, so cute. And I think that's it. I mean, you could decorate your cupcake holder. That's so cute. I think it would be really fun with some glitter. That would be really cute. But let's go and finish up our card. I've attached our little scene to my card base. I like to do them on a separate sheet of paper just because that way if I make a mistake, I'm not wrecking a card base. I don't know about you guys, but that's the way I tend to do it. And then I have attached some foam tape to the back, just making sure that it's tucked out of view here. And we're going to line this up with our card base. Give it a press. There we go. And all we need is a greeting. And I'm going to go back to our lovely Jolly Cupcakes. And I love this statement here. All I want for Christmas is you and cupcakes. So we're going to add a little strip with our sentiment on it. Now I want to use, I want this to be on a red that matches my red in my card. So the easiest way to do that is to actually make my own little cardstock strip here. So I could go back and use my Copic airbrush system, and that would be a great way to use that, and just build up a layer of ink. But just using the marker itself works as well. So that way you have matching reds. And you guys all know that matching red cardstock is not easy. So for this, just because I know I'm not going to be coloring over top of it, I'm just going to use a black ink here. This is VersaFine Black Onyx, and it's always a nice crisp image for sentiments. And sometimes it's faster just to grab this. We're going to grab a trimmer. We're going to trim this puppy down. This is what I use scraps for all the time, especially if they're not like super big. It's a great way to use up scraps. It's looking good. And let's use our scissors here and cut some banner ends. So you just do a quick snip down the center of that. And then you cut from the corner to the tip of wherever you have cut that little piece in. There you go. And you can do one end or both ends, kind of whatever floats your boat. We're going to do both ends. And there we go. And then some adhesive on the back. Dun, 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 dun. And we're just going to do it at the top this time because I have a little bit of foam adhesive that is showing and I want to get rid of it. So there we go. Problem solved. There we go. Another cute Christmas scene for your Christmas cards. I hope you've enjoyed my tutorial today. I hope you've enjoyed all the Copic marker tips, and I hope you'll join us by subscribing. All the supplies that I've used today will be listed below and linked as well for ease of shopping. I hope you guys have a happy holiday season. Please come back again. And if you'd like to win this card, I'll send it to you in the mail, open to all. Please leave a comment below and make sure that you subscribe because only subscribers can win. Thanks again, guys. Take care. Have a great day.